In this video, we're going to take a look at Dino Lighting's P180W, which as you can see is a slightly oversized, soft, bicolor LED panel. I do have to disclose that Dino did send us the lighting unit for me to review, and we definitely thank them for that. Now, one of the notable features about this light is what you can see back here. That is these large heat sinks. This unit has no fans. They say it has no moving parts, and that can potentially aid us with sound recording and also reliability. You know, the simpler, the better. Now, as I say, this is a bright, powerful light, so let's go ahead and take a few measurements. So we have my standard setup to test lights. Our light meter's on a stand. The lighting unit is precisely 10 feet away from the emitters to the meter. And when we meter, we're at 42 foot candles. So 10 foot of distance, 5,600 degrees, or daylight dialed all the way up, dimmer all the way up. We are at 42 foot candles. Now in more conventional terms, if our camera's at 24 frames per second, 180 degree shutter, ISO at 800, we are at a 4 and 9/10, or just a hair under 5.6. Now let's check the color meter. All right, so we are at a 5363 degrees Kelvin, 5,363 degrees Kelvin, and a CRI of 97.0. Now with our light set in full warm, it should be around 3,200 degrees Kelvin, we have 34 foot candles. 34 foot candles at full warm. Oh, look at that. On the color meter, we're at 3,200 degrees dead even, with a CRI at 97.2. So 3,200 degrees Kelvin, 97.2 CRI at full warm. And now it's time to check the power consumption with our amp meter. The light is on. It's on full power, and at daylight. And we have 1.33 amps. 1.33 amps, which at 120 volts, that should work out to about 159 and change watts. So just about 160 watts of input power. Now let's take a closer look at the control panel. This light is a self-contained one-piece unit, meaning there's no separate control box or AC power supply. Now right down here, we have the dimmer and color temperature controls. Over here, our locking AC power connector plugs directly into the light. Again, no separate box for this. And up here, we have an integrated battery plate. I do want to mention one thing about the AC lead that was given to us by Dino Lighting. This AC lead measures at least 16 feet, and I noticed this right away when I unpacked the unit. I was thinking, wow, that's a very long lead that they gave us, and which is a great thing. You know, to me it means that Dino Lighting is thinking about production and the way we work in production, and by supplying a long lead instead of, a typically very short one, is that we may not need to immediately run and get a stinger to power up the unit. With this 16-foot lead, we may be able to go to a quad box or a cube top or directly into the wall and power up the unit. Again, that just saves time and it simplifies the day, and it was noted and greatly appreciated. Now here we have the dimmer control, and right above it, the color temperature control, full blue to full warm. I'm going to be honest, these dials, they don't feel super substantial, and the dimmer does seem to be a little limited. It doesn't dim as much as many other units do, but it does work. Now up front, besides of course, the soft panel, we do have these barn doors. Now, these doors attach to the frame, which are plastic. They kind of clip on in place. But they are included, and they also protect the light when you're transporting it. This semi-hard case is included with the light, and it's an easy way to transport and store the unit without spending any extra money. Light meters and color meters are very important tools that we use all the time. But when evaluating a light, what's really important to me is to see how does that light compare to natural daylight. So over here on screen right, we have natural daylight coming in through a window and some diffusion. And here on screen left, we have our Dino 180W. What I'm looking for a color cast to see if there's a color cast between the artificial light compared to natural light. That's going to be hard to take out in post. If there's a green or magenta tint, then again, that's going to be hard to take out. That's what we're looking for. At the end of the test, I was curious, what would this light be like without this built-in diffuser. So what I did, of course, was simply take a look at it and popped off these built-in barn doors, and you simply have to pry them off. The top frame and the bottom frame, they are made out of plastic, and they have these molded in clips. So simply pop the barn door off, and this top piece, it is made out of plastic, and there are 8 screws that hold it in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they have Phillips head. Simply take a screwdriver or power screwdriver and take them off. One note of caution: the 2 screws back here on the center of the unit, the 2 in the back, they do have a coarse thread. The other 6 screws are fine threaded. 2 in back are coarse threaded. So simply zip them off. Now with all the screws out, this top piece should just lift right out. Okay, and the diffusion, sheet of diffusion will slide out. And here we have our unit. And now let's meter this unit without diffusion. With my meter, I'm getting 52 foot candles now. And with the color meter, 5,556 degrees Kelvin with a CRI of 97.2, so an increase of luminance and color accuracy. Now, out of curiosity, I'm going full warm on the P180, and I see that we are at a 3430 on the color temperature, so now it's 3568, so we're definitely cooler than the 3200 degrees or near 3200 degrees we had with the diffusion in place. So we can see that, the diffusion definitely is definitely warm, knocks it down a couple hundred degrees Kelvin, and our CRI though is still at a 97.2. So what did I learn by taking the diffusion off this unit? For one, it's naturally much brighter when we have the diffusion material off, but surprisingly, it's also more color accurate. Again, it comes right up to our 5600 degrees Kelvin, as indicated on the control unit and back. And also the CRI was a little more accurate, which was kind of surprising and a very nice surprise. So if DNO is listening, what I would certainly like to see in the future is the ability to take the diffusion on or off as we see fit, as we need it. And instead of a bare exposed LED board over here, it would be super nice if you had another one-piece plastic that went over this that had little lenses in front of all these little LEDs that would focus the light. Now, it won't be such a wide spread, of course. It'll be a narrower beam, but it would be a focus beam, and it'll effectively increase the output. It'll just give us a little more punch when we need it. That's again something I would definitely like to see in the future if it's possible. And that wraps it up with DNO Lighting's P180 soft bicolor LED panel lights. And as you saw, these lights are they're very clean. They have a very high CRI rating that's measured as opposed to, just claimed. And I can tell from experience that, again, they were very clean lights. Now, I do want to mention one thing about the price on this unit, because that's what really caught my eye when I first saw it. And here's the page on Amazon. At this price, I think it's a tremendous value and certainly something to keep an eye on as we move forward. Well, I hope that information was useful, and we'll see you on the next one.